Okay, so record is on, and hi everyone, and welcome to what is going to be regular bi-weekly updates for the ecosystem from Starfleet, but also all other teams that are building on top of on Eternity blockchain. So the purpose of this is to communicate effectively to the ecosystem, notable things happening from our startups, from our ecosystem members, what's happening with them. So you can basically track what's going on with the development, what is coming online, what is being built, what are people thinking about being built, and things like this, and more or less in real time. So we will rotate regularly our teams every 2 weeks, and we will have from 2 to 3 teams depending on what kind of things do they have to share. They will share their progress, updates, reports. They're going to ask for help if they need help, and we're going to make it try to inform the ecosystem as much as we can. What kind of products are coming online? What's being built by Eternity? How this interaction is going. The main point is that we want to try to keep it in a very casual format, and maybe in the future turn this into a regular podcast. But we'll see. So. Without further ado, today we have Tito Titov from Jelly and Wadex, and Mislav Javor from Ampnet to share what's happening. So welcome, guys. Welcome to our regular bi-weekly podcast update.
Hey, Luka.
Hi, nice to be here.
So we are going to assume, since this is going to get uploaded to YouTube and shared everywhere, we're going to assume that everyone watching this today and later on has no idea who you are and what are you building and why are you building it and why are you building it on Eternity. So maybe let's start from this. Maybe Tito, starting from you, just introduce yourself, who you are, what are you guys doing, what's the whole fuss about, atomic swaps,
Okay.
why they're important and things like this, and then we can kick it off. Okay?
Okay, thanks, Luka, for the introduction. So, hey everyone, I'm Tito from Jellyswap and Wadex as well. So basically, we're building a blockchain agnostic ecosystem for decentralized trading, for exchanging different assets on the blockchain. The idea is that you want to exchange one token for another. It could be Eternity for ETH or Eternity for some Eternity-based token. And for that purpose, you need some place, a marketplace, or some kind of platform where you can exchange your token for the other. So we're trying to automate this thing. You can think of it like a stock market where you have different order book with bits and tasks. And when two guys are matched, the exchange is executed. The thing is that we're removing the third party and everything is happening peer-to-peer. So when you exchange your token with someone else, it is happening directly from your wallet to his wallet without any platform in the middle. We're building mostly two products. One of them is exchange with order book, where everyone can place an order, and when someone else is matching it, he can execute the trade. And the other thing is a cross-chain atomic swap widget, which is acting like an over-the-counter desk, let's say. So there you have instant liquidity. And when you want to swap, for example, Eternity for Bitcoin or Ethereum for BTC, you just go, you receive the best rate, and you just click swap. Basically, we have both of these things in the traditional financial markets. These OTC desks are suitable for when you want to exchange a higher amount of tokens, let's say, or some other asset, and when you want it to happen instantly. Because when you have higher price and if you go to these regular markets and want to take many of these assets, you have higher slippage and maybe you won't find enough liquidity. And because of this, we have the OTC markets where you call your broker and you told him, okay, I want, for example, 5 Bitcoins for 1000K. These days it will be like 20K, but it's happening, the market is crashing. But yeah, when you want some significant amount, you just call your broker, you fix the price, and you go and execute the trade we are reproducing this on the blockchain with our Jellyswap widget, which is YCOTC widget, like I said. Yeah, it is innovative because you can exchange not only Ethereum for ERC20s or Eternity for Eternity tokens, but you can basically exchange any token for any other else from different blockchains, which is one of the biggest problems in the blockchains nowadays. We have Ethereum blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, but they are separate and they are not connected between each other. So it should be some bridges which are connecting the blockchains or the dots. But the problem is that we don't have these decentralized bridges, and it should be some solution. So here are coming the hash time locked contracts, where basically you can exchange Bitcoin for it by connecting some Ethereum smart contract with Bitcoin script, with Sophia contracts on Eternity side, and you can be sure that you have trustless exchanges between the network without having to trust anyone and in fully decentralized manner. So basically, that are the things that we are building right now. We have some ideas for stable coins, and we are also working on NFT market. So there you can exchange crypto kitties or game items or yeah, everything that is unfungible and unique. But I'll talk more about this later, and maybe I should give the word back to Luca and Mislav probably.
So, but just a couple of follow-up questions here. So,
Okay,
and then we can come back to Mislav.
sure.
Because I think it's important. So basically, you launched an atomic swap that is working on Eternity mainnet that allows you to swap an Eternity token for any other token.
All right.
Okay, not any other token, but from my understanding, it is Ethereum, ETH, Bitcoin, and DAI, right? Currently.
We can support 10 years C20 as well.
Any ERC20 token as well. Awesome. So, I mean, can you try to? So, there's a lot of. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot of non-technical people and like beginners coming into this world. Why is that so important for the blockchain ecosystem in general? And why is it important for the, let's say, Eternity ecosystem to have, to be able to jump from one ERC token to Eternity and Eternity to an ERC token or that? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it is mainly important because of the maybe because of the trading for sure. If you want to speculate, or for example, you're bullish on Bitcoin, or you want to buy some ETH, or you want to buy some Eternity, it is great to have some gateway where you can just open the website, connect your wallets, and without going through Binance or register, or you don't have to register, you don't have to give any personal data, and it's happening pretty fast. So it's a gateway where you can go and move from one coin to another, which is important in my opinion. For example, if you believe that the price of Eternity will go higher and you have some DAI tokens or Bitcoins, you can pretty easily go and move your Bitcoin to Eternity in just one click in no more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes because the Bitcoin transactions are slow, but the good thing is that you're owning your tokens in your own wallet. I mean, it's not like having your tokens in Binance Exchange or in some other custodial wallet or in Bitfinex or wherever, because there you don't really own your tokens. I mean, they're just in one database and they're writing everything there, and we can trust that everything will be fine. But for example, in conditions like this, where we have market crashes and spikes and ups and downs, exchanges could experience some problems. Maybe their website could be suspended, or they could maybe they don't have enough liquidity and you won't be able to withdraw your tokens, and that's a problem. So I personally had that problem many times when I have some Bitcoin and I want to buy some DAI tokens and to put them in Compound or some other DeFi app. And what am I going to do? I mean, I should go to Binance to deposit my Bitcoin. After that, I have to exchange it for ETH, but in Binance that they don't support DAI. So after that, I should withdraw the ETH, go to some other app, exchange it for DAI, and only after that go to Compound, which is like 5-6 step process, which is not friendly at all, and you're paying taxes all the time. You pay tax to deposit in Binance, you pay tax to exchange your token in Binance. After that, you pay to withdraw from Binance. And these are like 3-4 taxes that you're paying along the way just to convert your Bitcoin to DAI. So converting tokens from one blockchain to another is really a big problem, and it's something really important. For
Okay,
Ethereum
so
community, yep.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe that is important. For the other thing is that many people don't accept payment in Eternity or in Ethereum. They just say, okay, I can sell you my items from my online shop, but I accept only Bitcoin. So what are you going to do then? I mean, you have Eternity tokens, but you don't have any simple way to move them to Bitcoin to pay for the supplier. So this is another useful case where you can, yeah, swap your tokens. Or, for example, you're receiving your salary in Ethereum tokens, let's say. So then you want to convert them in something more stable because the price of Ethereum is volatile, but you have to pay your rent and you have to pay for food and for toilet paper in that crisis. So probably you would like to move your Ethereum tokens to DAI and to have something stable to pay the bills. And yeah, this is only a few of the usages that I'm thinking about right now.
So you mentioned DeFi, decentralized finance.
Yep.
So, and maybe I don't know. I mean, this is a question to both of you. But you also touched one point, a stablecoin. So it's my understanding that you have some plans, that both of you have had some plans to build a stablecoin. How important is DeFi in general for the blockchain space right now, and how important are stablecoins for anyone watching from the outside with the specific angle of Eternity's ecosystem, maybe?
I think that Mislav already have some real life experience, so he can go through their stable coin, and after that I can add something from it.
Let's then jump to Mislav.
Hello.
Yeah, maybe just the same as Tito. Let's assume that everybody watching, or majority of the people watching, have no idea who you are and what do you do
Okay.
exactly. So maybe we can kick it off from there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so hi, I'm Mislav. I'm the CEO of Ampnet, and I'll try to keep everything as short as possible. So Ampnet is a blockchain startup, and we are very narrowly specialized in the field of renewable energy. So what is Ampnet doing? Currently in the world, there exist 3,000-ish energy communities. Basically, there are more, but what we can gather from the available data in the European Union and the US, let's say 3,000 energy communities. These energy communities are groups of people investing into renewable energy and buying and selling produced and consumed electricity. So basically, you can think of it as people from a local neighborhood gathering into a legal entity called an energy community, investing into, let's say, a solar farm or a wind farm or something similar, and then becoming the customers of this legal entity, the energy community. This model is really good for the transition to renewable energy. They are one of the fastest to transition to all the newest forms of renewable energy. They are, let's say, in an industry which is notoriously inert, they are the agile players in terms of technology and advancements. However, they are small. So there's a lot of members of energy communities, and we're talking in the tens of millions. But each individual energy community is a very small entity, either 500, 1,000, maybe 5,000 members. And as such entities, they do not have the R&D resources to develop their own software. So what we found is that they've been using basically Excel and sending documents and signing everything by hand. And we thought, look, well, there's an opportunity here to solve a major pain point for these energy communities. I mean, nobody wants to fill out Excel spreadsheets. It's something you do when you have to do it. And this is why we built Ampnet. So Ampnet is an all-in-one platform for energy communities. And what we do can be summed up in three parts. So the part number one is we enable these energy communities to crowd fund renewable energy sources through our blockchain-powered crowdfunding platform. And later on, I'll get a bit into why it's done through blockchain and not a classical crowdfunding platform. The second part is we built a billing platform, which enables, we will build a billing platform to be more precise, which enables the energy communities to issue bills, track customers, to basically give discounts, create tariffs, do everything that a billing platform can do. And the third part is an electricity exchange. So where once they have an excess of electricity and they need to go somewhere with it, nowadays they would have to have a contract with the national utility provider, which can be really bad. They can get bad deals and stuff like that. So what we decided to do, let's connect all of those energy communities into one large virtual energy community and allow them to exchange electricity amongst themselves, basically not peer-to-peer. So it wouldn't be myself selling electricity to my neighbor, but it would be like, we call it peer-to-peer-ish to peer-to-peer-ish. So it's maybe 50 of us selling our excess electricity to some 50 people in Germany. So it's, not properly peer-to-peer, but it's closer to peer-to-peer than it is to a centralized system. What we are currently operating with is a fully finished crowdfunding platform, which we are now adding on to this crowdfunding platform, which I mentioned. I will go into why we use blockchain. Well, once you invest into those projects through crowdfunding, it's very difficult to sell those assets. So they are very illiquid. It's very difficult to move. So once you invest into a solar power plant, you're stuck with it for like 15, 20, 25 years.
And how much is the average investment in a solar power plant, or I don't know, wind?
Solar, $1 million, 2 million euros. Wind would be 25 to 100 million euros, depending on the projects. It can go into billions. I mean, it's usually the $1 billion ones are not crowdfunded. I didn't think any single one has been crowdfunded, but the crowdfunding campaign, yet, that's the good attitude. But it's mostly crowdfunding projects will revolve around a couple of million euros. I'd say that's some ballpark. And yeah, basically, so right now what we're focused on is building a platform which enables you to invest into renewable energy sources and then trade these renewable energy sources, the shares of those renewable energy sources amongst other people. And yeah, we're even
so basically tokenizing their equity and then providing a decentralized exchange that helps them.
Exactly.
Okay, understand.
So it's going to be initially a semi-centralized exchange. It will be built as a DEX, which we are now talking with Tito to leverage their awesome technology on this. But we will have to, because of the legal constraints, we will have to do full KYC checks, and basically we will have to know everything about our customers, where the money is from, where the money is going, because we are not working here with purely digital assets. We are working with real life equity, real estate, basically assets, which we then plan to trade on blockchain.
Okay, and it's my understanding. So what part of this platform is live now? And what parts did you build on using Eternity blockchain and the tools?
Sure. Everything is built on Eternity. So currently the live part of the platform is the crowd investing. So it's crowdfunding, crowd investing, crowd lending. This is up to our customers to decide which legal model they want to use. But basically it's our platform which enables people to crowdfund renewable energy sources and then have their shares of this crowdfunding tokenized on Eternity blockchain. So it's and that's live with our customers from Slovenia, and we are currently building an implementation for our biggest partner, Greenpeace. This implementation, I can even maybe just give me a second here.
Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I can go into this. So basically, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, we have partnered with Greenpeace to build a central platform, like not a central platform, but a large platform for funding renewable energy sources. one of the biggest assets we have there is the Greenpeace brand. It's old, established brand people love and trust, especially people in the renewable energy community. The big problem with crowdfunding platforms is a lack of trust, an almost complete lack of trust. So you don't know what you're funding. How do I trust this project that it will actually get built? Am I just throwing my money into the wind? And this is where Greenpeace comes to close the gap. So our usual clients who are buying our platform, they're working on a local level. And the trust there is very local. So let's say you have an energy community in, I don't know, Zagreb, here in Croatia. Yeah, we, people from Zagreb, we can trust these guys because we know, okay, this community is a friend of a friend of a friend, and there are social relations there. But on a global level, you really need a partner which will enable you to do this basically with a trusted entity, and this is where Greenpeace comes in. The project is called, very ambitiously, Shifting the Trillions. So the idea is that there is currently a huge amount of money being used in a way that people don't intend it to be used. So you have your money in a savings account, which then the bank invests into fossil energy, which is something you might not want to happen. So a lot of us are passively investing into fossil fuels without even being aware of this. So the idea is then to shift some of this money into purely renewable energy projects and to offer a stable investment. You know, it's not going to be a high yielding investment, but it's going to be extremely stable, good for the environment, good for the planet, and stuff, etc., etc. But what I wanted to do was, maybe, I'm not sure if this is going to work.
It is. Screen share,
okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it says, okay, I need to allow it. So, application window, okay, here. Yeah, so it's working. So this is the implementation which we have now for Greenpeace. This is our platform. Basically, you can see now it's a bit empty because we didn't put any projects for crowdfunding here. But it's a very simple platform. You know, I mean, simple to use, not simple in implementation. You log in basically through just to sign up with Google or Facebook. The entire functionality of the blockchain is basically hidden from you, let's say, and the platform in that regard is using the Arcane network, which a lot of you might be familiar with. And so, yeah, this is basically the implementation we are doing now for Greenpeace. It should be going live somewhere in 2 to 3 months with projects funded. So anyone watching this, once it's live, it's going to be a global platform. Please come, invest some money, you know, put your skin in the game, so to say. So, yeah.
To save the planet, I guess.
Yes.
Awesome. I mean, this is very interesting. So but from what I'm seeing, you have different kinds of customers. One is, like you mentioned, the small what's the name? Cooperative in Slovenia.
Yeah, yep.
And Greenpeace, which is massive, I guess, huge.
Sure.
So, I mean, the Greenpeace is kind of clear for me, but the smaller one, can you kind of elaborate? I mean,
sure.
Why do they want blockchain in it? Why? You know?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, the average energy community is a very small entity. So they are between a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand people. On their own, they are very weak and exposed in a sense that they get very poor electricity prices. They get it's very difficult for them to build sustainable crowdfunding campaigns. And there's a plethora of things which are not working properly, let's say, in this model. But when we combine, let's say, 2,000 energy communities in Europe, when we put them together, they become the biggest electricity producing entity in the European Union. So and then why blockchain? This comes into play. So what's a good system for combining thousands of independent players into a singular network without a centralized provider? And that will be blockchain. So I think the case for blockchain here is in no way forced. So there's a lot of forcing blockchain onto projects which don't require it. In this case, there is a very, very clear need for a central system, but for lots of autonomy for all the players. So each energy community will not give up their autonomy, and they shouldn't give up their autonomy. There is no reason for them to do this, but they want to cooperate together. So usually, the legal form is usually a cooperative. So they want cooperation. They are not competing with each other. They are non-profits, basically. There is no reason for one to succeed if another fails. So what we are building is a central system on the blockchain, which will connect all of those energy communities into a singular virtual energy community, the community of communities, without a central provider. So the big thing here is there's going to be money flowing, assets flowing. So what if Ampnet Limited goes out of business? What if we go bankrupt? So the energy communities would in that case be stuck with a useless product which they can never leverage. If it's on blockchain, it's there as long as there's blockchain. So there's a huge amount of advantages which we are leveraging from the blockchain space, which we think it's going to be a very revolutionary product in this space.
Very interesting. And just to connect it with the discussion with Tito, so it's my understanding that you have built already a stablecoin using Eternity blockchain, and you're using it right now. Is that correct?
Yes, we built it. To say we're using it is a bit of a stretch, but it's not a false statement in and of itself. We built a closed stablecoin. So it's for each one of our clients, we set up a depository account which they can put their money into, and then they can use this token to invest into their projects. We are still searching for a global stablecoin implementation. That's going to take a while. Hopefully, I've been speaking with Tito. We are trying to bridge DAI into Eternity. Him and his team have made great progress in this regard. And once DAI is here, if everything goes well in the next few weeks, once DAI is here, then maybe we can leverage it.
If we still have DAI.
Yeah, if we still have DAI.
We still have DAI. For those of you who are not following, so we are currently in a very, very bear market. Bitcoin crashed below 4,000 and Ethereum crashed below $90, which means that Maker is over collateral. Oh no, that Maker is Maker tokens are heavily under pressure, and they were even discussing
an emergency shutdown.
Shutdown or some sort of a contingency breakout, but thank God they didn't. So it's a massive stress test for the whole decentralized finance space, alongside with the blockchain space in itself and crypto space in itself. So
if I may ask, actually, have you guys any kind of contingency plans and alternatives if DAI or MakerDAO or somebody bites the dust?
Yes, so our current system is not dependent on DAI. We are hoping to have DAI, but if it bites the dust, we'll just revert to what we are doing now, which is a bit of a worse solution, but it's a more stable solution.
Yeah,
why would it be a worse solution?
Well, I mean, we don't have a license to trade this globally, so it's localized to each and every one of our clients separately. I mean, it's basically now an almost centralized system. So it's not very useful. But worst case scenario, we'll join forces with everyone, and we'll try to do something with a depository stablecoin, maybe something like that. So yeah.
I think that if DAI don't pass the test with showing that it is a true stable coin backed by ETH, or maybe, it could be any liquid asset like ETH, or it could be backed by Bitcoin or whatever. But if they can't keep the price to $1, this will prove that such kind of stable coins are not usable in general. So we'll have to go back, at least for now, to these stable coins which are backed by gold, dollars, and etc. So things like USDC are pretty stable as well. USDT, I don't really like them. It's not like DAI. They are not that transparent and so on. But obviously they can handle the bear market. But maybe DAI won't be able to take it. But hopefully they'll make it somehow.
I have another question in terms of like actual peg stable coins. What happens because I mean they're pegged to an actual real value like USD or Swiss franc or euro. So once they decrease, we will also see the value of the peg coins decrease. And I think this is also going to be quite a dangerous situation. Have you guys also thought about this?
Yeah, you're right, but can I? Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
sure,
second.
Tito. Go ahead.
Elaborate on that. You're right, but in fact we have USDC which is backed by dollar, so it will be still $1. Never mind if the price of dollar is going up or down. I mean, of course, it could
I
be
think
some global crisis and so on, but
I
it
think
will be
for
still
us,
$1.
yeah, for us, I think it ties in nicely with what Tito said. For us, it's a more of a psychological thing than a real economics monetary thing. The majority of people using Ampnet are not going to be blockchain literate, so they will not know, what a DAI is, what a stablecoin is. All they will know is that their investments in terms of euros or dollars are dropping, and they will not be sure why. So yeah,
They will not be happy.
yeah, the euros can drop
Exactly.
just as DAI can drop, and the US dollars can. I mean, we saw what happened with the Swiss franc. It went up like what from? I know in Croatia it was a big deal from what 4 kuna to a franc to 7 kuna to a franc. So currency
Almost double.
oscillations, almost double. Currency oscillations are a real big deal, and so I don't think it's a huge problem for DAI. It's a bigger problem in the people's heads that they are still not blockchain literate.
And the issue with the currencies in general is that everybody believes that they are stable until they're not. So I don't know, if you asked anyone last week, what do you think, the outlook of stability for Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything else is, everybody would say, yeah, I'm 100% or 90% confident that next week the price is going to be very similar here. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Yep.
So this exactly the same thing happened with Swiss francs in Croatia, in the whole Eastern Europe. I think in the whole Europe, Swiss francs were a massive slaughter of these kind of things. So we had internal discussions like quite heavily in what is the most effective way to create a stable coin. Is it a basket of multiple currencies? Is it a basket of multiple beta currencies? Is it an algorithmic pegged but nobody still knows.
Yeah, I think that we always have these black swan events from time to time, and we just have to react somehow. I mean, it's a problem with market. There are a lot of liquidations with MakerDAO and DAI, but it is happening the same thing with the U.S. economy. We see that they have printed new 1.3 trillion or something like that. Yeah, trillion
1.5
dollars
trillion
just
dollars.
to support their economy. So they are doing basically the same thing, but here is more transparent because everything is on the blockchain, and we can all take part in these liquidations and all these movements. But in US government, they just print it and that's it. So it's not that transparent, but it's happening the same thing right now with not only with blockchain but with all currencies.
And I think, for blockchain, it's a big advantage of it's what I always said. I was never drawn to it so much because of the decentralization or those types of aspects. I was always, to me, it was open source programmable money. So it was, in a sense that it's, we see it now in the DeFi space. As soon as DAI hit the market, and this is why I'm hoping that we can port DAI to Eternity ASAP. As soon as something like this appears, which is stable, which we can build around, there's tons of people just building small things. Like, look, this thing does this 3 things. I built it in 2 weeks, and let's give it a shot. So I think this is why it's much better to have stable tokens on the blockchain than in the legacy financial system. So let's say Ampnet. If we want to do things with blockchain stablecoins, we can do whatever we want. We can use them to, use maybe these renewable energy investments to use as collateral for loans on some other platform. We can do tons of things. We can do basically whatever we want with it. We can play around with our tokens, how they interact with other projects on the blockchain and similar things. So I think it's a dangerous period right now. Everything is dropping. DAI is on shaky legs, but still the advantages of a stable token on a blockchain network are so large that long term, I have no fear that some project will do it.
Because there's an underlying need, like an effective underlying need, that this
Exactly.
volatility is kind of fixed. Otherwise, business logic doesn't exist. I mean, nobody wants their,
Yeah.
especially the non-blockchain people, nobody wants their assets or whatever they invested in, like jumping from 1 to 100 and then down to minus 50.
Sure.
You know, so
And basically, but the other thing is we can see, a year ago we had, stable coins, we had everything, but we didn't have the DeFi ecosystem. And now that we did have it, I don't think there's going back. And maybe a year ago, this entire experiment could have failed because we still weren't sure what's all the things you can do with a truly decentralized stablecoin. But now that we do have a truly decentralized stablecoin, which is governed by smart contracts only, no people are able to, influence the decision making in a non-transparent way. So now we've built, there's the Aave guys, there's the DYDX, the Compound guys, basically building a whole new financial system on top of a stablecoin, and it's proven now it works. It's great. So I don't think there's going back now. And I'm 100% sure I would never move Ampnet from blockchain at this point. Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, it was iffy. We had some advantages, but some disadvantages. Now I think everything is getting so mature and useful, so that we're blockchain all the way now.
Yeah, I do believe that one of the first use cases of the blockchain was money transfer, and like Mislav said, programmable money and open source money. So obviously, after a lot of tests and checks, we have tried to use the blockchain for supply chain, for some other things. But now the obvious use case that we have is DeFi, decentralized finance, which at the end of the day is again sending and transferring funds, putting them in something like bonds, banks earning some interest, and all the financial system. So I do believe that every blockchain that want to succeed and want to have some traction and users and so on, it for sure needs some stable coin, because everything that we have in DeFi can't exist without DAI and without USDC or some other stable coin. So for sure, if we want to go further with Eternity and to take some traction, we just need that stable coin on Eternity as soon as possible.
And I think we're a little bit running out of time, but at the end, the discussion is very interesting, and I'm very happy that it's turning out this way. But one of the things that we actually came so far is, and you mentioned it briefly, Tito, is so if you right now you have the whole Eternity ecosystem listening to you. So do you have anything that any help that you need from them, anything that they can assist with, both with Mislav and you, Tito, that they can assist you with in building these, either the stablecoin or Jellyswap or Ampnet? What would you guys need as a support?
I can just ask the people to check Jelly to give us their feedback and to start using it in regular basis, because we are all talking about blockchain, about decentralization, about all that stuff, but everyone at the end of the day is using the legacy financial system, their dollars or lefs or Croatian currencies or whatever. So just buy some crypto, play around, move it to Eternity, move it to Bitcoin, start lending, do whatever you want. Just play around in the sphere and check how it works. This is the first step, and then just try to use it once a week, once a month, then on a regular basis probably. About the stablecoin, I will ask all the Eternity projects to write us, to give us their ideas, and we'll need some kind of, let's say, DAO probably in the beginning. And because of that, maybe we need some companies that can join us, can put some initial liquidity.
This was discussed between Tito and myself yesterday. the idea of bridging stablecoins to eternity should probably be a DAO in the beginning.
Yeah, sure. It should be a DAO in the beginning, and probably it should be a DAO always, because it will need some transitions between Ethereum and Eternity. So it should be someone in the middle that is watching. It could be trustless, of course, but it's still good to have some authority that is looking for some black swan event and emergency shutdowns and blah blah blah. But yeah, I think that the implementation of stablecoin, the MVP could be done in the next months. And at least the initial version, we will put some DAI by our own in one pool, and we will mine the same amount of Eternity token, which will be Eternity stablecoin. It will be called ACE or something like that, like Eternity stablecoin. So everyone can check all the time that all the Eternity tokens, Eternity stable tokens in circulations are equal to the DAI tokens which are in the pool. And they can all the time move from Eternity stablecoin to DAI and vice versa. And in that way, it will be some stablecoin that is fully transparent, as decentralized as possible. At the beginning, it won't be fully decentralized, but the biggest part of it. And after that, we will move to the DAO and we will make it more decentralized and more decentralized. And we are not building it from scratch. I mean, we don't want to recreate the DAI ecosystem to make everything that DAI have already done, MakerDAO on Ethereum ecosystem. We just want to back this Ethereum stablecoin with a DAI stablecoin, because obviously doing such kind of organization where we have a DAO which is responsible for stablecoin with all their protocol and all their meetings and emergency actions, it just takes time. So if you want to recreate the MakerDAO on Eternity, it will take like 1 year. We are not here for that. We just want to have a workable global stable coin which everyone can access pretty easily and can use in his daily basis or for business purposes. So
yes, and I think even there's a further point: the implementation of a DAI competitor on any other blockchain would be a moot point, since even I have been speaking with Gustav from Maker, and they have been very clear from the beginning. The Ethereum implementation is just the beginning. So it was just the first thing that was available and the best thing that was easiest to develop and the most mature. But they are hoping for DAI to become a cross-blockchain stablecoin. It should be a stablecoin that works. And here the network effects are obvious. I mean, we can have, but why should we have 20 competing stablecoins which you have to exchange? Then it was the same thing with people thinking you can pay with utility token ICOs, which I always said was nobody wants to have 30 assets in their wallet. If you have 2 assets in your wallet, you are already processing on what's the price difference. That's a mental load people don't want to take on themselves. So I think let's put DAI is the biggest. If they fail, there's no one better than them right now. Let's port them to eternity and we'll start using DAI then. We can
let's have our stable coin and let's use it. The most important is attraction and
exactly.
Users that are happy to have something stable and to pay their salaries and to pay in the shops. That's it. We don't have to recreate everything.
So are we understanding you right that you guys are going to do this? Is this an announcement?
I really believe that we can do it in a few months. But at the end of the day, we need the support of community and someone using it. I mean, we will put some initial liquidity, and if Eternity Foundation wants to support us and to back the Eternity stable coin with some DAI stable coins, for sure it will be better than just our team putting like 2,000 or 3,000. It won't be enough. But it's a beginning and we will do it.
Yep, we are also vouching that we will contribute to the liquidity pool and we will be using the Eternity stablecoin backed by DAI as soon as it appears.
Awesome. So we're going to make sure that happens. So, but on this note, I mean, the question was more of, so you have Jelly, you have Wadex, you have Ampnet, and there's a lot of people, in the Eternity ecosystem. I don't know, what would you guys need? Testers, I don't know, business things, I don't know, someone to connect you, not to Greenpeace, but to, I don't know, Enron. What's the equivalent of Enron in the green space, or the equivalent of?
That would be the Norwegian guys. Statoil got renamed. They are not an oil company anymore. Now they're green renewable. No, we have a serious need right now, and that is legal and financial support. So that's a support on terms of getting a trading license for real world backed assets on blockchain. Finding out, what the problems are, who is willing to do this. We are definitely not going to get a license for Ampnet. That's far beyond the amount of money we have and the amount of expertise we have. But finding a partner who is willing to collaborate, if we go at it alone, then it's going to be difficult. But if we go at it, it's Ampnet plus Eternity plus Greenpeace plus Energy, then, we have a case to be made for some financial executive somewhere to okay, guys, you can have a trading license.
Yeah, we just need more liquidity and more traders. That's it by our side. It's much more simpler. But yeah, soon we will release our botware, which is an automated software where everyone can provide liquidity. So if someone, yeah.
So let's say I have 8 tokens. Let's say I have 10,000 AE tokens, and I want to be the liquidity provider. What's this butler do to me? I mean, how does it?
We will release a Docker, which is, let's say software which you can run on your computer, which is running 24/7. You just put there your tokens, and at any time you can stop the software and take your tokens from it. So there is no restriction. You can take part in that anytime, and you can go out anytime. And basically, when someone wants to exchange, for example, Ethereum for Eternity, you can provide this Eternity liquidity. So you can earn some small profit from the spreads. And in that way, the liquidity provider will be grateful because he is earning some interest. And the taker will receive instant liquidity. So it's a win-win situation. And everyone can take part of it, and soon we will release the docs and how does it work exactly.
So if anybody wants to help or reach out, or they have an idea that can help you, they have money, they have, I don't know, whatever they want to give you, how do they reach out to you?
They can open our website, which is jelly.market. And there we have a Discord channel. We have a Telegram group as well. They can find us on Twitter. And wherever they approach us, I will answer. The Eternity Forum, it could be a useful place as well. And they just have to ping me, and I will describe everything.
Awesome. Very, very, very good. You, Mislav, how do they reach you?
Well, through us, we don't have any specific. There's a lot of echo. We don't have any specific channels like this. We are trying, since we are more or less B2B, so we don't have large community engagement. But you can always contact us at mislav@ampnet.io or info@ampnet.io. We are available there.
Very cool. I think that's it from my side. I like this very much. We're almost an hour. So 3 minutes, like 7 minutes shy of an hour, and I can talk for another half an hour or another hour, and I know you guys too. But I would like to maybe stop it here because it's Friday and it's Corona time. I mean beer time. Bad joke, I know. Thank you so much, Mislav. Thank you so much, Tito.
Thank you, Luca, for organizing
this. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, everyone, for.
And thank you all of you who have been following us and will be following us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to write and spread the message. Anybody else has a question?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's have this.
Thank you, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
You don't need to go. I just start recording.